You're watching the Sports Circus, and I am Brian Urlacher.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Today's show is supported by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can outbreak traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even hard-to-understand contracts, plus a whole lot more. For more information, contact Legal Shield at nocourt.us. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, and KIOF 97.9 in Las Vegas. And a big welcome to those watching on AMP TV as well as Hotel Television. All right, here we go, buddy. Are you ready for this? We're going to talk a little bit of college basketball. Why?
Okay.
Because first of all, because we can, and secondly, we don't do it enough. We probably need to jump a little bit more into it. So let's get into probably the biggest topic that everybody's talking about, but I want to put a little spin on this. Now, there's a player over in Memphis. His name is James Wiseman. He's probably going to be the number one pick. This drives me crazy. He's going to be the number one pick in next year's draft. Mind you, he's a freshman, right? Another discussion, and we haven't even gotten to that part yet. But Memphis star James Wiseman is suspended for 12 games, but cleared to play.
Wait, that math doesn't add up.
That doesn't add up at all. I got to tell you, look, Wiseman, he's a 7-footer. He's a center. Obviously, the potential number one pick in next year's NBA draft. Mind you, he's a freshman. We'll get into that in just a minute. Now, so the story reads here, this is from Yahoo Sports. Now, he must also donate. Listen to this. This guy, his family got $11,500 from the coach, mind you, to make a move. So the story goes, he must also donate $11,500 to a charity of his choice, an amount that matches the payment the NCAA says his mother received from Memphis head coach. Yes, from Memphis head coach Penny Hardaway, when Wiseman was in high school and relocated to play for Hardaway's prep team, Team Penny, and Memphis's East High School, which Hardaway also coached. Now, the alleged payment occurred prior to Hardaway becoming the coach at Memphis. The NCAA ruled the payment as impermissible because it was deemed Hardaway as a booster. Now, here's a statement from the NCAA. The benefit was impermissible because of Hardaway's status as a Memphis booster. Hardaway had made donations to the school in the past, including $1 million to help build Penny Hardaway's Athletic Hall of Fame at the school. Now, boosters cannot provide financial assistance to prospective student athletes, their families, members, or friends unless the assistance is generally available to other members of the student body and is not given based on athletic ability. Now, Wiseman turns right around and sued the NCAA. Now, the NCAA initially ruled Wiseman ineligible after Memphis' opening game. Wiseman filed a lawsuit against the NCAA, and a judge issued a temporary restraining order, yes, on his behalf. Shortly thereafter, the initial ruling allowed Wiseman to continue playing until the resolution of his case. Come on, man. Now, Wiseman played 3 more games. He played 3 more games before dropping his lawsuit as the school deemed him ineligible last week and announced that it was applying for his reinstatement. The NCAA had cited the 3 games he played after being ruled ineligible in Wednesday's suspension announcement. From a recent statement, the University of Memphis student athlete James Wiseman, this is from the University of Memphis, James Wiseman has decided to withdraw his lawsuit against the NCAA and the university. The university supports his decision and believes it is James's and the men's basketball team's best interest to resolve his eligibility issue expeditiously through the NCAA process. And there's another one of those. And we're going to blow it up on top of it.
How good is this kid that everybody's bending over backwards to bend and break rules?
Buddy, here's the problem I have over and above all of this. This is the central issue. This goes back to that one-and-done garbage. So the NCAA has this rule, well, we can't let, or Adam Silver says from the NBA, we can't let these kids play in the NBA until they have 1 year of college behind them. I got to tell you, man, the worst thing that ever happened to in my opinion, to the NBA was this one and done rule. Look, if the kids are 18 years of age, they're old enough to fight for the country, old enough to vote, old enough to enter into a contract, they're old enough to play professional sports. No question.
Yeah.
And so all of this BS has to happen because why? Well, it has to happen because the NCAA is in bed with the NBA, and Adam Silver is just making a disaster out of the NBA. And I think this whole thing is just an absolute dumpster fire.
Well,
so you've got a kid.
It sounds like the only way that NCAA can actually get players is if they have this ridiculous rule in there.
Right. And I think that's largely what the problem is. But unfortunately, when you look at the way the structure sits with this one and done garbage, look, they're not really doing the schools a favor by having the kids go 1 year. In fact, if you really want to make some kind of rule here, have these kids go 2 years, and it's required that they come out of their first 2 years with an associate's degree. This way, when they get out of school, at least they'll have some kind of legitimate collegiate background behind them and maybe help them in the working world. Because remember, a very small percentage actually goes from college to the NBA. And then when they make all the big money, the careers are done after a few years. And let's face it, then they're broke. Now they have no skills, no life skills.
They're literally putting in a clause for you to be a college dropout.
Yeah.
Is really that what they want? About. So that's what they've turned it into, is instead of having legitimate players that actually want to play for your college, a learning institution, by the way, not anything crazy, instead of doing that, they want you to be a dropout of their school. They want you to be – that's ridiculous.
Now, look, you're a military guy. Imagine somebody enlists they do a 4-year commitment. And let's say they're a one and done. They do 1 year, I'm out of here. I'm going to go AWOL. What happens then to them?
What do you mean, like 1 year? They do 4-year commitment and they do 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a dropout.
You're a dropout. I mean,
that's what you are.
The military doesn't take too lightly to that. What do the military do if you go AWOL?
Oh, they come after you. They wait for your your like 30 days to make sure that you're actually AWOL and not just missing.
Right.
And then they come after you.
What happens? Oh, so if they capture you, what happens?
Oh, you stay in the military and they throw you in the brig.
I know somebody that went AWOL from the military about 27 years ago, and he has been working under the table as a mover, which is fine. He's got to sustain some kind of cost or some kind of living.
Well, it's not the military that catches you. Exactly. It's not the military that catches you. You get pulled over for a speeding ticket, and then they turn around and say, you
like a bench warrant.
Exactly.
You're coming with us. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with 4-time Super Bowl champion Bill Romanowski. What a colorful character. Back here in a few minutes from Honolulu to Boston. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
And that's another thing. Those Dodger fans, Sal, I mean, sitting on their hands, they were not ferocious like the Boston faithful over there.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's the reason you had 2-out rallies, because you have fans that are behind them, and the Dodger fans are weak.
No, a 2-out rally is predicated on what those hitters are doing at the plate. When you look at what the Boston Red Sox hitters were doing, they were shortening up the stroke, they were getting up on the bat, they were rotating the knuckles, they were doing all the right things to get around on everything and protect the plate. The Dodgers were still swinging for the fences even with 2-strike counts. They were not willing to hit the ball the other way for the most part. Even when the shift was on, hell, they could have laid down a little 99 hopper to third base if they're a left-handed stick. But they weren't doing it. The hitting mechanics and the hitting coaches are just simply better over in Boston, and they prepared their hitters to do the right thing. That's what made the difference with that 2-out hitting. They shortened everything up, and they made contact. They put the ball in play. My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. The coach tells him, take a knee in the end zone because we have one timeout, plus we'll have the 2-minute warning. And for some reason, he runs it out of the end zone. He runs it 20 yards in. Yeah, donkey. Yeah, whatever that was.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that's a donkey or something from Godfather 3. Yeah.
And he needed to be canned for that very reason, and so they dealt him off to the Baltimore Ravens. And now he'll get some playing time over there, which is good. But good news for Green Bay is they cut bait immediately. They said, you can't follow instructions. You can't be here.
I'm shocked they didn't cut him on Monday. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford. He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play. And even if he got tackled and didn't fumble, it's a bad play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. Therefore, his own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
But I also like it that Green Bay made another trade.
Yeah, this is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Didn't you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? And that was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby? And let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone. Come on, man!
All right, you know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart ran out to play. But in the game, I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. How's that, man?
That's
Is that okay? Is that good enough?
That's incredible. That's fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes! Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music. We're really entertaining.
Hello Americans, it's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Don't wait. Call right now. 888-794-1630. 888-794-1630. Write it down. 888-794-1630. Again, for the last time, 888-794-1630.
You're listening to the Sports Circus, and I'm Mike Golick.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, here with our special guest, Bill Romanowski, 4-time Super Bowl champion. So, Bill, in the last segment, we were talking a little bit about some defenses. We're talking about matchups. We had all kinds of great conversation going on, and even in between, just a little bit about maybe some of your former teammates, right? And I have to call out guys like Roger Craig. Roger's a wonderful guy. Been a guest a couple times with us. Toy Cook, been with us a couple times as well. Toy's a really candid, animated guy. I love that about him. What are your thoughts on these guys?
Hey, Roger Craig was the ultimate teammate. He was a guy you knew was going to be ready, and he really taught me how to practice because when I remember taking the field for the first time, watching him take a handoff and running all the way to score a touchdown in practice. And I was like, oh, my God, look at him. He just ran 80 yards for a touchdown. And then they ran a play right after that, and what did he do? He did it again and again. And the guy scored probably 20 touchdowns that practice. And I'm like, why is Roger Craig such a great player? And it's truly because of the way he practiced.
Right. Yeah, there are some guys that really, you don't even know if it's game time versus practice time, but that's just how they live, too. That's what they do. And I don't know him in the football world, just a little bit on the business side. And I think he lives that way, Bill, on an everyday basis. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He's big into running, does marathons, big on working out. I'm a big workout guy, too. And, he's just a guy that always takes good care of himself. Like I said, just an awesome person, and he was an amazing teammate.
All right, so let me ask you this. Out of all your other teammates that you had, who was the one that we already covered the one that was constantly going and going. I would imagine you had a whole team full of that. But who was the one that kind of wanted to turn in a little bit early? It says, you know what, guys, let's save all that energy for game time. Was there somebody that stood out? I'm not calling anybody. I'm just kind of curious because I would imagine there's a hodgepodge of people in there. There's got to be some personalities. Some want to work a little harder. Some want to save it for game day.
You know what? There's a guy who was really smart the way he approached the game. He's Hall of Famer, Rod Woodson. But I tell you what, Rod was focused on playing great on Sunday and, took it a little bit easier in practice, was mentally sharp, mentally on his game. But I tell you what, when it came to Sunday, he had the ability to always come up with a big-time play.
Right. So, Bill, what do you think about the idea that the NFL plays on Thursday? Coming up, they're going to be playing on Saturday. They play on Sunday. They play on Mondays. I mean, really, we've got NFL 4 days a week. Back in the old days, what do we have? We had Sunday, then we had Monday Night Football. What do you think about these Thursday games and the added Sunday games?
I absolutely love it. And I wish I had the opportunity to play that many different games. In fact, I wish there was NFL 7 days a week. I love it. Hey, I love it, and I think it's great for football, and there's just people that can't get enough.
Yeah, look, I like it as well. I just wonder about the recovery time for players. And then I take the idea that some of these other sports, and we see this, for example, in basketball. We see now these guys are taking days off. In basketball, do you really have to take days off in basketball? It's not a full contact sport like football or hockey. For Christ's sakes, what are we doing here, Bill?
But here's the deal. I think there are coaches that really understand that it's about the playoffs. It's about having their guys play their best come playoff time. And the intensity is that much more that they have to be ready for that. And if they don't have their legs, so I think with an older team, having having a coach that is smart, that knows when to rest and knows when to get them going, that is an art in itself. And, there's a lot of great coaches in the NBA that know how to do it.
Okay. So, folks, we're here with four-time Super Bowl champion Bill Romanowski. All right, so, Bill, let's take that same idea of resting players, and let's go back to the team of the 80s, which was the San Francisco 49ers, without question. How many players were rested? How many games did people rest? I mean, how many games did you rest?
We didn't rest. In those
That's
days, there's no resting.
That's my point.
Yeah. That's not
–
I never missed a game, 269 straight games. I never missed a game.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. That's incredible, Bill. I wish that more players would take that stance of, hey, let's let the season play out however it does, because we're professionals and we want to play our game. You know why? Because we love the game. We're being paid for the game. Now, you are a pre-93 collective bargaining guy, but you're also a post-93 guy too. How did that work out for you and maybe some of your teammates that straddled that pre and post?
Well, I think when you had the Plan B, all these different things, and then you had free agency hit. At the end of the day, that made it to where you could move around, and it made it to where teams could bid on you. So for me, it was amazing. I got the opportunity to play with 4 different teams: San Francisco, Philadelphia, Denver, and Oakland. And I had 4 amazing experiences because I love playing football. And they were all so different, but all amazing, unique, awesome, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So, and that was possible because of that 93 collective bargaining agreement.
Right. That's why I wanted to ask you about that, because I know you moved around a little bit. So now, being up in the East Bay right now, how do you feel about the Raiders moving right here to Las Vegas, where I'm at?
Well, it finally is going to give them a world-class stadium. They're going to have the money to be able to pay and compete now like the rest of the teams. And I think this will really be something special, and I think it will be just a matter of time. We have the Dallas Cowboys, our so-called America's team. I think the Raiders are going to be the world's team. And because
it's getting there.
Yeah, it is, because everybody from all over the world comes to Las Vegas. And what are they going to do when they come during football season? They're going to go watch the Las Vegas Raiders play in this brand new, amazing stadium. And I think that is going to make it the world's team. And I'm excited for them. Mark Davis really took a big risk doing this, and he and Mark Bedane, the president of the team, got it done. And I tell you what, hats off to them, because this is something that I don't think Al Davis could have pulled off.
Right. I would agree. I mean, they have the whole Southern California population behind them, which our town right here, our population seems to go up 200,000 or 300,000 every weekend, largely from the visitors from Southern California. And they certainly will pack that stadium. It's a beautiful stadium. I drive by it all the time. And we saw the success with the Vegas Golden Knights from the hockey side. And I think we're going to see a fair amount of success, of course, with the locals. Now, remember, this has been traditionally a Denver Broncos town, but I think the people are going to warm up to the fact that we have a hometown team here, so let's support these guys.
Absolutely. I think it would be great to have, a baseball team. We got a hockey team, basketball. I think you got to have every sport represented in Las Vegas. It's an amazing town, and I just cannot be more excited for the Raiders, and cannot wait to potentially move to Vegas and do a bunch of stuff for the Raiders.
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with Tom Flores about this. Tom's a friend of the show, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful human. I love talking to Tom, and it'd be a lot closer for him to commute from where he lives over to here. It's a very short distance away. Good for him. Instead of having to go up to the Bay Area for the games, now he can just jump right over the mountains, get over to Vegas. Be a lot easier. It's too bad that Tom's not doing the color commentating for them anymore. I find it a little bit unusual that Musburger's actually doing that as far as doing the play-by-play, but I think Tom's crew was certainly adamant. Maybe they're just trying to turn over a new leaf. What do you think about that?
You know what? I think there's, with Greg Papa, who had done it for years, I think, he crossed Mark in a way, Mark Davis, and Mark made a change, and when you're the owner of the Raiders, you can do what you want to do. And so I stand behind Mark Davis and what he decided to do. I think they do a great broadcast. I thought it was great before. I think it's great now. I think Lincoln Kennedy also does a really good job. So, they got something to cheer about now because the Raiders are playing good football. Derek Carr is on top of his game, probably having one of his best seasons since he's been in the pros. So that's exciting also.
Folks, we're going to be back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere. Back in a few minutes.
Hello Americans, it's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173. Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. That's 800-932-5517.
This is Emery Moorhead from the 1985 Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears. And welcome to Sal's Sports Circus.
We're here with Bill Romanowski, four-time Super Bowl champion. What I like is the fact that in some cases you'll see players rise up when they strip their offense. In this case, it's Carr. When the players are stripped from the offense, they find a way to win. It's kind of like losing some of your best friends and some of your best tools out there, but you still find a way to win games. And those are the players, to me, that are the most valuable in the league because, again, you could plug and play almost anybody there, and they're going to find a way to win.
Exactly. You know, the great ones, you can put them on any team, any situation, you know, down by 2 scores, fourth quarter, 8 minutes to go. Somehow, some way, they find a way to win. You know, when I played with John Elway, he found a way to win. I played with Joe Montana, he found a way to win. Steve Young found a way to win. So I've been very blessed to play with probably 3 of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And when you have great quarterbacks, great players, they figure out a way to win. They play with a certain intensity level, and they bring a belief factor that when you're on that field, you're going to win the football game.
Let me ask you this. Now, Bill, when you played, there was a very different brand of football on the defensive side from the hitting side that is versus what's allowed in today's game. Talk about the difference to back when you were playing versus today's game. How would you do in today's game?
I'd be fined and kicked out of a lot of games. That's what would happen to me. I was taught to use my helmet as a weapon, and that's what I did. I hit with my head pretty much on every play. So they do not allow that now. I think it's good for the game. I know they're trying to do the right thing and protect people's brains. So I applaud the NFL for what they're doing. It just would have been really hard for me because I was a head hitter. And I started hitting with my head when I was 10 years old, and I did it till I was 37. So 27 years of football, I used my head as a weapon to hit people as hard as humanly possible. And now it's all about your shoulder. And that would have been very hard for me.
I had this conversation with Doug Plank. You may remember Doug Plank. You played against him possibly early in your career. But Doug was – actually, I don't think your careers overlap. But Doug was that guy. You know, they had named the Buddy Ryan named the 46 defense after him because he played the exact same way what you're talking about. And Doug pretty much gave him the same off-the-record feedback, which with different words, that, today's game is certainly different. But what do you think about nowadays how people are getting fined? And what do you think about the celebrations and the people taking their helmets off, ripping them off and chasing them around and hitting people in the head? Like we saw that with Myles Garrett a week or so ago. I mean, how do you feel about this kind of stuff? Is it a part of the game? We see this in hockey all the time. I mean, hell, even in hockey, players' faces are being spat on. They're being licked because they don't even know what to do anymore. But you can sucker punch them in hockey, or you can just punch them in hockey, and you get a 10-minute penalty. If you spit on them, it's a game misconduct. It doesn't really make a difference, or it doesn't. Frankly, it doesn't make sense, I should say. But in football today, it just seems like more players are a little bit. I want to be on camera. Everybody, look at me, look at me, look at me. And if you don't look at me, I'm going to do something so you can look at me. How do you feel about that?
You know, that was a very different way of going about playing the game of football. I didn't play that way. But as far as what happened with Myles Garrett, it doesn't belong out on the football field. He could have bottom line is you don't rip a guy's helmet off and use it as a weapon because he could have killed him.
Yeah.
And that is just something you don't do. And I don't condone that. Hey, football is a violent sport, and there are big hits that happen. There are guys that get hurt. But you want to do it within the rules of the game. That is, I think, very important. And the fact that He is suspended indefinitely right now. I think it's the right move because that was ugly. It was ugly for him. It was ugly for the NFL, and potentially ugly for who he almost killed when he swung the helmet at him.
Well, he hit him in the head, too. He hit him right at the top of the head, for Christ's sakes. You can't do that. I mean, look, you play between the whistles, and that's it. You don't have to be a jerk-off and do it afterwards.
No, I agree with you. So it's unfortunate that it happened. I don't know what else happened within, at the bottom of the pile when everyone's trying to, rip him away. I don't know what was said. But bottom line is you got to be able to get up, be a pro, get back to the huddle, and beat them at the game of football. When I played for George Seifert and Mike Shanahan, they said there is no fighting out on a field. You're going to put yourself in jeopardy. You're going to break your hand. You're going to hurt your football team. You're going to get kicked out. And that jeopardizes us potentially winning a football game. Beat them at the game of football and be a pro. That's what my, great coaches told me.
Absolutely. And that's your job. You're being paid to do your job. Do your job and don't do anything else. That is what you're being paid for, is just do your damn job. All right, so here, 4-time Super Bowl champion Bill Romanowski. Listen, Bill, I want to know what you're doing outside of football. What are you up to these days?
Well, I run Nutrition 53, and that is my nutrition company. It's what I started when I left the NFL. We make a groundbreaking product called Lean One, which is a fat-burning meal replacement protein powder. And it's one of the best functioning, best tasting protein powders out in the market today. And we're in Smoothie King, we're in Bed Bath & Beyond, we're in Vitamin Shop. So we're really doing well. The company's doing well. And I'm in a position where I get to change people's lives every day. And one of that is helping them lose weight, be lean, fit, and strong. And they do that with my Lean One. And people, if they want to find out about it, they can go to nutrition53.com or lean1.com and check out Lean One fat-burning meal replacement powder.
That's great. Sounds like you're going to have to send a year's supply to me, buddy, because I might be able to use that. I need to lean out just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hey, I will absolutely do that. We also have a brain-focused product in a natural sleep aid. To me,
Really?
It's all about lifestyle. It's about sleeping well, being focused and energized, and losing weight. And those are the things at Nutrition 53 that we tackle.
All right, I like that. I like the fact that you're tackling it as well. Can't beat that. That's always good stuff. All right, so I have to ask you just a little bit about the writing stuff. Now, you've been involved as a New York Times best-selling author, also maybe a little bit on the big screen too. You've done a little bit of work there. Tell me about that.
You know, when I left the NFL, I got a call from Adam Sandler, and he asked me about doing The Longest Yard. And
yeah.
I was with a bunch of great guys, Burt Reynolds, Chris Rock, again, Adam Sandler, and a bunch of great athletes, you know, Michael Irving, and, you know, guys that have wrestled. And what a great, great time. We really did a great job. We worked hard, and we put a blockbuster movie together, you know, so that was a lot of fun. And then I wrote a book, Romo, My Life on the Edge, Living Dreams and Slaying Dragons. At the end of the day, playing in the National Football League was hard. It was every day, you know, 12 hours a day, my training, my nutrition, my recovery, doing what I did to last 16 years, never missing a game in the NFL is what I talk about. How I did it, what it took, and then life after football. What did I learn from playing that many years in the NFL and what was life after football like. And it wasn't easy, but, starting a nutrition company is something I'm passionate about, that I really love, and it's something I've been fortunate with. And Nutrition 53 is really excelling and taking off, and I couldn't be happier.
That's very exciting. I mean, look, we started the same way, Bill. We started this show in much the same way. I was a fifth wheel on a show that was carried over ESPN in Southern California some years ago. And I said, you know what? I think I could do this better myself. Only because, not necessarily better, but I think I can make it profitable. I think I can make it a real live business instead of just entertainment. I mean, look, what are we doing here? This is almost like investortainment, like anything else. So I will say this, you're doing a fantastic job. And Bill, make sure you stay in touch with the Sports Circus. And we're going to also stay in touch on texting and telephone, et cetera, and so forth. Make sure you tell everybody real quick how to follow your company and how to follow you.
Yeah, they can go to nutrition53.com or lean1.com and see the best products on the planet if they want to lose weight, if they want to get more focused and energized, or they want to sleep better. Nutrition 53 has got products that will help you kick ass in your life. And they help me each and every day. I know they can help you.
All right. All right, folks, that was Bill Romanowski, four-time Super Bowl champion, San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos. Also played with the Oakland Raiders. I think you also played with the Philadelphia Eagles, too. Did you not?
I did, 2 years.
That you did. All right, Bill, make sure you come back and visit us again here on the Circus.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196. Paid for by Legal Alert Line.
Hey everybody, this is Adam Curry from Candlebox, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Folks, make sure you check out the sportscircus.com for all of our future guests, our podcast, and also be sure to check out the partners page as well. The partners page has a lot of great charities tied to it, a lot of great causes, great people that run those charities. And let me tell you something, folks, those are some very, very good causes. So make sure you click on that, and also make sure you click on 97.9 FM. It's right there on the front of the website, right at the homepage. Click on that nice maroon colored banner. Believe me, great content, great people. Pleasure to work with everybody at 97.9 FM KIOF in Las Vegas. All right. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, and those watching us on AMP TV, as well as Hotel Television. Hey, man, that last segment, the last couple segments, really good stuff with Bill Romanowski, huh?
Absolutely. No, Bill puts on such a great clinic when he talks about football. That's what I really like about talking with him, is he has a whole other side of the game that we're all speculating about. He's got it right on the money. He knows exactly when he was talking about Brett Favre getting hit and saying, "Oh, well, hit me a little bit harder next time." So, like, getting to see that inside and hear about those stories, it's great to hear that from Romo.
I love the fact that he was straight about it too. When I said, "What quarterback did you like to put a hat into?" He didn't even hesitate.
No,
didn't he went to it. What I do love. I'm sorry, but what I did love about it was that, look, he didn't hesitate, but he was genuine about it, and he also pointed out the toughness of those quarterbacks too. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Nailed it. And really, the way that he jumped right to Brett Favre, it's almost like he's got a picture of him on a dartboard somewhere at his house. Like, he went right for him.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, I would say he did. But at the same time, one of my favorite parts of the whole segment, and now I remember asking him, do you remember the part about Roger Craig?
Yeah.
Now, I know I think that was in a previous segment, but the Roger Craig piece, now Roger's a very good friend of the Sports Circus, and I love the fact of what he said about Roger as being not only the consummate teammate, but I love the fact that he said taking a snap at the 20 in practice and running full speed all the way down to the end zone, running the 80 yards. And doing it again and doing it again. You could learn a lot from somebody as to how they practice. And I happen to think that Bill Romanowski, that 4-time Super Bowl champion, practiced the same way that he played his games. Now, he made a remark about Woodson, of course, with his ability to turn it on Sundays. But I think that is just simply learned behavior. You learn it as a kid. You're a product of your environment, et cetera, and so forth.
Oh, absolutely. You end up performing how you practice. That's just how it is. It's not one of those things that you what did I hear the other day? It was you don't practice until you get it right. You practice until you can't get it wrong.
Yes,
and that's the guy.
Profound statements.
That's the guy who does it. He lives and breathes that because he's worked with elite quarterbacks before. He on both sides of the ball. I mean, he's hit them, and I'm sure he's also hung out with them. So I mean, he's got both sides of it.
I think the public they have a very different opinion of Bill because they don't necessarily know Bill the human. They only know Bill the wrecking machine and one of the most feared players in the history of the NFL. I think he came in ranked number 10 in that poll. That's crazy. That's 100 years of football.
That is the curse of a linebacker, man. LT's always going to be looked in that same light too. Just because, and look at Butkus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're always going to be looked like that, even though, you know what, end of the day, they're giant teddy bears.
Yeah.
They've got to be.
Listen, Sonar, I had a conversation. It was a while back here on the show, and it was with Jim Jeffcoat from the Dallas Cowboys. Jim won a couple of Super Bowls. I think he had 88 sacks, 88 or 90 sacks, or something like that. And strike that. I think he had 105 sacks. He had 105 thereabouts. When you break that 100 sack, when you're the 100 sack club, you're a lock for the Hall of Fame. Now, for whatever reason, everyone had not voted for Jim to make him a member of the Hall of Fame, which to me, the Pro Football Hall of Fame it's a big deal, but then again, it's a political thing. And for guys like, here's an example, like last year, I talked to Jerry Kramer for quite some time. Jerry and I had just about an hour conversation inside of a charity benefit, just kind of sitting there. Funny story. I can't tell it right now, but funny story how I started talking to him. But anyway, actually, he started talking to me. But it came down to a guy like Jerry has waited literally 50 years to become a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he finally got his due. You know what I mean? But you take a guy like Bill Romanowski. Now, Bill at some point may get into the Hall. He had a lot of intangibles. Then they had that Balco thing. The Balco thing was a real big deal with the steroids and this and that. And look, Bill had some issues with kicking players and stomping on players and ripping helmets off. But that's why he said he couldn't play in today's game, because today's game is a very different game than when he was playing. That's why I mentioned that pre-collective bargaining and post. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. And what he talked about was he did it on the field, in the game. That is a big distinguishing factor than what we saw last week. Than what we saw before.
Look at it this way. You take a guy here. Let's use, and I'm going to preface this with my favorite sound for Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick. All right, this guy is an absolute joke. If Bill Romanowski had happened to play at the same time as Colin Kaepernick, I think he would have probably put his helmet right through him. Now, so here Kaepernick's attorney calls the NFL workout that he was basically granted, and they went out of their way, being the NFL, just to appease this guy. He already, in my opinion, bilked him out of $100 million and then another $88 million of hush money to this alleged fund for social justice and crap like that, which we haven't even seen a line item description of where that money went to, that Anquan Boldin is involved with, conveniently doling out to this party or that party. So here the NFL gives this guy a workout, and his attorney calls the NFL workout a, quote, publicity stunt. So 30 minutes before this workout that the NFL arranged was set to be started, Colin Kaepernick pulled and decided to move it to a high school 60 miles away. Yeah. Now, the workout lasted, listen to this. This is stupid. 60 miles away. All right. Now, the workout lasted 40 minutes. He claimed the NFL, being the attorney, claimed the NFL had refused the workout open to the media and allow his own camera crew to film the event. Now, why would they? Of course, the lawyers decided they would have cherry-picked whatever footage they want to. Well, isn't that the point of putting together a demo reel to try to sell somebody on their skills? You cherry-pick the best pieces, right or wrong?
Yeah, that is how all journalism is you make your story out of it. That's journalism and freedom of speech 101 there, Kaepernick.
Right. Unlike what we're doing now, we do a live show. All right. So guess what? Whatever's out there, it's out there, folks. You never know.
Well, exactly. And the other thing is to turn around and change venues, too, on everybody. What you're going
underhanded is that?
Yeah, what you're going to end up doing is all the media people who did show up and were dropped off. Now they've got to go back, take all their equipment, put everything back in, and then drive an hour away, even though you're going to start in 30 minutes. So who was there at the start? Who was there at the start?
In the first place? No, so Kaepernick's side set this up in the first place so he could be the victim once again.
No, it's the old switcheroony, man. It's here's where we're going to have it. I purchased a venue. We're ready to go. I bought shrimp. We've got an ice fountain. Here's the venue.
Chocolate fountain. I love chocolate
fountain. Hey man, do it. Dip some marshmallows in there. But what I'm saying is, you turn around. Everybody's bought tickets to this thing. Everybody's ready to go. And I doubt you extended it another hour after it was done. After everybody showed up. So don't turn around and say that this was such a grandiose type of thing that the NFL botched up. You did, because you didn't keep your venue.
Dude, it's an hour to get there, and he said 30 minutes beforehand, so people were there. They didn't have an hour to get from point A to point B. No, they had 30 minutes to drive basically 120 miles an hour, and they can't do that. So that was a setup by Kaepernick's side. Look, 8 teams apparently, allegedly, showed interest. Detroit, Buffalo, the Jets, Kansas City, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Washington, and, of course, the San Francisco 49ers. You think the 49ers have any interest in this clown? Hell no. This is the same clown that walked away from a contract. They offered him $15-16 million, and he walked away from that deal in the first place. The only team that showed legitimate interest, apparently, was the New York Jets. I guess they're having problems with Sam Darnold in the city of New York. But guess what? You think Colin Kaepernick would do any better in the city of New York? Hell no. That guy doesn't deserve a chance, in my opinion. He is already blackened and put a giant scar on the NFL. This guy needs to just go away and go play somewhere else in the world, or go take up basket weaving or whatever the hell he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, regardless of where you stand, this is not how you operate as a professional person.
No, he is not professional, in my opinion. This guy needs to just go away. Guess what, folks? I would have loved to seen Bill Romanowski put a hat into this guy and take this guy out. My opinion, again, I can state that because I can. Folks, we'll see you next time right here on the Sports Circus. Stay here. In 23 hours, we'll be back.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
If you have diabetes, listen up. If you have insurance, you can qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends and spend more time in range, significantly lowering your A1C. More importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and if you've seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for your own CGM right now. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances will cover your CGM, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the Aptiva Medical CGM Health Hotline right now.
800-320-2751. 800-320-2751. 800-320-2751. That's 800-320-2751.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.